Well, how's it going, Kingsman? Welcome back to another NTW3 battle. Today, we have a clan battle between the RC and the Napoleonic clan. Now, this is on the battle map of Gorsi. You can see we have a French army being delayed by this bridge to reinforce their allies who are over here facing off against a massive Russian Corps. And this is going to take a second for them to get across. And, of course, you also have a Polish army, the 9-pointer, who's also going to have to wait their turn. So the 13-point Dvu and the 9-point Poland, they are going to have to take a minute to get over there. You have a Saxony, a 7-pointer, rushing up to defend their ally, who is about to start taking some, some clashings from the Russians. You can see horse artillery rolling down the road. You have cavalry already. And, of course, this is the 8-point Victor. He does have artillery in the back. Now, on the other side, guys, there is a lot of Russia. Like I said, a 12-point Bagration, 8-point Tormasov, 9-point Konstantin, and 8-point Bagavu. Like, it is an insane amount of Russians on the field, which is going to make for an incredibly awesome fight. I mean, Gorsi is one of those fun maps to play on. They have tons of different terrain. You have LOCs, open fields, a little bit of, lagoons and, like, broken up areas, some water, I guess some swampy areas with some kind of high ground a little bit, and then some more buildings. It makes for a very fun match up. Now, you see Russia has the horse artillery. They rushed them forward, and they're going to start trying to find a good spot to then harass the French line. Now, they're getting very close. Maybe because they have cavalry and they feel safe, but they're very close to this French line. I'm curious if these hussars are going to try to drive them out. But obviously there's more Russian cavalry pushing forward here. Yeah, you see France is considering it. Other artillery already firing. Oh man. Now these Voltigeurs in the house getting some shots off on some Gusares, some hussars of Russia. But now we have more horse artillery who has hopped off. They are going to limber down, I guess would be the word, and start finding some targets. But you can see artillery really starting to make it painful for this French army. Oh, these guys are going to get up. Still, France looks like they're going to go. However, that artillery is going to make them think twice. This is definitely going to be a French hold by the river. You can see the reinforcing ally a lot closer. In fact, if they hold right here by this river, they'll have their allies. It's definitely smarter. They have a lot of artillery, even more set up over here. You can see a 6-pounder and a 12-pounder. And they brought some 8-pounders. So I'm seeing quite a bit of artillery for the French. It's not firing yet. Obviously, a little bit of Victor is going to get harassed mercilessly by the Russian horse artillery. It's going to be just a pain that they're going to have to deal with. They are not letting go of the LOC. That's actually not a bad strategy. You will be able to see a lot more of the enemy's lines while also making them have to attack this flank before advancing forward. You're going to harass them. I mean, they have some good line infantry, like I said, some Voltigeurs in the house. That's not a bad strategy to have a contingent of French troops. Now, of course, they're going to probably start getting really harassed here. And so they may split across as well, as they are starting to become isolated. Don't lose men for nothing. If they're gonna do what they're gonna do, don't worry about it. You got the Russian mass pushing forward. You got another Russian general here. More cavalry, another Russian general here. But you can see concentration, guys. They all start in the same area, so you're going to expect to see masses of Russians in the near future. What the Saxon army brought. Looks like a lot of French just lines. Artillery set up to defend the flank. It looks like they're going to set these up here. That way, you know, they can have their infantry all in one area, I'm assuming. Oh, what? That must be a guard unit. I did not know they had their own flag. That's cool. Got another general pushing down the road. And France is actually withdrawn without taking very heavy losses. That's a very, very excellent, you know, play. Ultimately, I mean, they didn't get harassed too much. They had cavalry infantry, but it's very easy when you're running away for the enemy to just run you down, especially if you lose cav, artillery. So they're able to do that quite effectively. Now, we do have the Polish. They pushed their cavalry corps section of their army all the way across here. Horse artillery, you can see there's some just light infantry, or light cavalry, sorry. I'm looking for lancers. Do they have lancers? Yeah, there we go. So they have lancers over here. And they're probably just going to try to harass the lines. Hold that thought, though. Looks like they were potentially going to try to fall back, but cavalry making it more difficult for them. Now, the artillery from France is now firing. This battle's taking a second to actually heat up, but it's actually, you know, you gotta appreciate the strategies. You gotta appreciate what they're trying to accomplish. You know, like, where are the French pushing? Where do they have their reserves? Right here you can see Saxony has a mass amount of infantry just ready to move forward. Artillery ready to deploy. It's not ready yet. They're still waiting to see where the Russians are pushing. If the Russians are gonna hop across this riverbed and push this flank, then they need to react. They have their artillery they can set up and hit the flank. If they're massing up, can attack them straight down, like straight in front of them, then, you know, they'll have to have their guns deployed there as well. Obviously, a lot of infantry. You got that cavalry. France is going to try to deal with that. They have dragoons pushing forward. Probably would win against the Polish cavalry at this moment, unless the Polish cav get some flanking charges off. Oh, we have an engagement here. The Lancers charging in. Nice charge bonus for the... Oh my gosh. Yeah, they chose a very nice Lancer unit, and the charge bonus was huge. You see, they got a lot of them. That's why it's really, you have to be really cautious when charging Lancers. More cavalry from Russia gonna get caught out here. And there we go. Alright, so definitely a lot of, you know, cav clashing. Looks like, for the most part, Russia's getting kind of kicked back. Now, we do have a bit of a fight here. France, like I said, making a brave stand here. These Voltigeurs are probably going to die. That's just the truth of it. Could you imagine being one of those guys, though? Man, what a terrible fate, you know, is coming towards you. You know, you see the Russians surrounding you. You start realizing that you're surrounded. And you either can fight to the death or surrender. What do? You know, do you surrender? Do you fight to the death? It definitely looks like Russia has taken the loss. I mean, they didn't have the Cav dominance on this side versus Poland and Saxony combined effort. But it looks like France is actually starting to push on this left flank. We're even seeing some French pushing back across the river. I guess they were thinking maybe they were going to get pushed harder than they actually did. We have, of course, Russia assaulting the LOC. These brave volunteers are starting to die, unfortunately. And they, unfortunately, lose. They do retreat. Hopefully a couple of them make it out, but not a lot of them made it out, guys. 11 men. Oh, dude. That's just cold. Stomped on him and stabbed him with the bayonet when he was already, like, they were breaking. What a war crime. That is horrible. Alright, so we're seeing a lot more concentration of Russians over here. There it is. I'm assuming, yeah, this is a guard. Look at that. Oh, man. You know how I feel with the Russian guard. It's the next models thing I'm trying to get. Building up my tabletop army. A lot of light infantry contingents kind of pushing forward here with Cav support. They're probably just trying to spread the coalition out, force the coalition to have to react. You can see the guard artillery coming over here as well. It looks like some batteries right here, but yeah, the Russians have shifted over this side. I never see fighting happen over here on Gorsi. It's actually kind of cool. They're doing something different. They're doing a whole lot of different, and I'm very excited for it. These maps are big enough that you could definitely play different, you know, you could play different styles, different parts of the map. It does look like France is pushing forward, Saxony right behind them. I'm assuming Russia has one line defending this, which may be why the French are deciding to push so hard on it. Alright, this artillery is getting themselves out of there, guarantee you. Now, let's see if they actually make it out of there, because there's some cavalry here that's about to run them down. Oh, wow. Seeing a lot more cavalry. I wouldn't take that. And Russia's going to get their horse artillery away. And they will sit up on the flank and once again harass the French army. You have the Russians standing their ground near the LOC. And, oh, France is falling back. Strange. Oh, I know why. They have a whole Russian army on their flank. Look at this. So this army started going almost parallel with their army. It was a nice catch on their part. Like, that's just battlefield awareness, guys. Oh, hold that thought. We have more cavalry who is starting to charge in. They're trying to stop this French army from advancing. And they try to flank them with the Russian army. We'll see how well that works. France seems very aware of it. Artillery, though, can start harassing once again the French army. Horse artillery, if used effectively, is so good. It can rush forward, sit on a flank. It's perfect. You see the Chevalier is getting hit pretty hard by artillery. Russia's still pushing across here. Some of this guard pushing across as well. Now, we do have France. They've already gotten on the flank. Artillery set up right here. But, I mean, Poland may actually have the cav to deal with this gun. Plus the cavalry that is defending it. They're going to limber up, but I think it's going to be too late. Guarantee you. Okay, even if they take on this cav fight. Oh, they got intercepted. Oh, man, that's unfortunate. Huge push, though. You can see Poland Just absolutely pressing the attack here. Russia is still trying to form up. I don't actually think the coalition has a good formation going right now. They seem to be not sure where to push, and the French are very... I don't know. Russia seems to be still adjusting their lines to one area over the other, so I don't think that the coalition are in a good position at this moment. They have a ton of their center, but their flanks are very weak looking, it looks like. I mean, this flank's a little bit weak, and honestly, the center could get smacked from two sides by, you know, the Saxons plus the Polish with the French on the flanks. Now, we do have a Russian attack being started here, but they are going to take their turn walking into the enemy guns who are, oh, look at that, they're turning right to them, guys. Oh, what a shot. Even more artillery from Victor. Oh, that's weird. What are you doing, Russia? Yeah, a lot of artillery, guys. I think Russia's about to start feeling the pain, but they are pressing forward right here by the buildings. They have their elite guard. They also have units that are deploying into the bog. Poland may actually get a nice little flanking volleys off on these guys who are stuck, not being as maneuverable. But this seems to be where the Russians are going to spearhead their attack forward. Saxony just falling back, guys. He does not want to take that fight. Now they better start concentrating artillery. On this one little area where the guard is pushing forward. This is Constantin, 9-pointer. Look who's waiting to meet them. 3 brave regiments. And the artillery is starting to really harass this line from Poland. You can see the artillery is really starting to rack up kills pretty quick here. The Russians need to make a real move if they want to not suffer too high on the casualties. And it does look like Konstantin will be the first to go in. He does have a Russia on his flank to defend himself, but Poland has totally switched targets. Instead of going after a whole Russian army, even France is pushing this direction. Poland pushing, Saxony pushing. They could really focus down a huge portion of the Russian army while keeping the other Russians at bay. But at the same time, you see they're keeping their distance and obliterating the Russians with artillery. This is turning messy really fast. They're going to fall back. Wisely, they should do so. I mean, there's a lot of artillery. There's 5 guns on this side, 6 guns on this side. That could all start just firing away at this one congested area. You do have Russia maybe starting to engage here. Push forward their infantry finally. Here's some cavalry that hit a square, just trying to counterattack. Russia should try to push this. If they're going to push anywhere, now's the time. Cavalry, infantry, charge in. France will suffer heavily in that attack as they'll be forced into squares, plus Russian infantry can just push forward here. Russia's actually giving some punishing volleys, routing some troops already. Now, of course, this cavalry's starting to take losses, but France is going to start pushing forward some reinforcing army or troops. Over on this side, Russia has kind of fallen back. Poland now actually getting some shots from artillery, I do believe. And Russia has some of their guns setting up, trying to shoot at this French army. Still, guys, I mean, no one's made a decisive move. I think Russia was really considering going in. No one's made the decisive push. Now, I see an opportunity, a small window of opportunity here, to pincer off a huge chunk of Russian troops between Poland and Saxony. I may not have enough troops to actually do it, though. But they have a nice flank going here. I mean, the French lines are almost parallel to the Russians. But Russia's probably going to fall back. I mean, Russia may want to just use, you know, this small section, use this bog. I'm not sure where all their massive artillery would be. All I do know is almost all these deaths, all these dead bodies are from artillery. And that's insane. Considering, you know, what artillery is like. Look at that. And the artillery is just still thundering down. Just, you can see, killing Russians every time. There's just too many Russians in this one little area. Every shot kills someone. They're getting harassed by flanking fire. Of course, artillery is trying to do what they can. We do maybe have Constantine pushing in here against the Polish and French now. But of course, the French just kind of fall back. You know, that's the only thing to do. Sit back, shoot the Russians, but don't get into melee with them. That's the trick. And you have to react very quickly. It's not like, you know, the guard is at all slow. Man, this is fighting everywhere. There's artillery everywhere. I'm looking. Look at that. The French line's all the way down there. There's so much artillery, guys. I'm just literally seeing constant artillery shells dropping. This is insane. I think the coalition, or not the coalition, I think the French alliance may actually go for an actual attack somewhere now. I think they have finally gotten to the position they want. They have the enemy right where they want them. Ooh. That artillery is very close to this line. Ooh, they have no squares either. Don't know where this French army is pushing, but looks like they're going to try to pull the Russians further apart from their own lines. Russia has a lot more troops in this one little area. This is going to be a slightly risky maneuver the French are pulling. Now they're trying to outshoot them very quickly. Don't know how well it's going to work, of course. Oh, the artillery. Brutal artillery shots against the French. It's like Borodino style artillery, you know, just crazy. Oh, we have some Gorsis who are going to charge in here. They do form a square. Or do they? Horse artillery coming over to this side. Russia's starting to push forward the attack. Constantine has given the order to advance. Russia's going to try to hold this side. They have artillery to kind of hold back the enemy on this side. Cavalry still trying to harass. Poland actually going to get a little bit of a charge off. You see, actually, Poland is trying to harass this advance, stop the Russians dead in their tracks. But Russia's getting a little bit closer to achieving their goal of closing with the enemy. It looks like we have a French advance over on the far flank still. I'm sure there's still a Russian army sitting there. Artillery still sitting there, so that's going to be... We'll keep an eye on that one once they actually make contact. But we want to keep our eye out on where the fighting is becoming the fiercest. More horse artillery gotten into nice position to kind of defend the line. You can see getting some nice shots off on that guard. France is starting to get a nice little flank up. But Russia's actually, you can see he has a line that he's starting to form to defend against the guard. Or defend the guard so they can actually keep pressing. Basically defending that flank. Ooh, this could be a good cab charge. Russia may not have anything in their center. It's a gamble. They may not have... Well, they have guards. They have squares. And Russia's still pushing. They just won't give up. France can't run forever. They're going to have to figure out some other strategy besides constantly falling back. But you can see the line is kind of just readjusting now. We are starting to see a bit of a push here. Even cavalry pushing on the Russian infantry. That may actually chop them up. Ooh, actually, looks like a bit of a counterattack going on here from the French.
Our men are running, sir.
You did see, it looks like another French unit has caved to the Russian attack here. Still more troops trying to get around. They've almost driven an entire wedge between the French army here and a couple of his units here from Davout. So a lot of Davout's right here along the flank. He's going to start trying to curve around, starting to get the rear of the Russians, which actually can be quite disastrous for him. Over on this side, man, Russia broke. All those skirmishers broke. Artillery still in the game. But this is going to be a rough area to advance and fight in a lot of just, you know, small ponds. We'll see what kind of moves they can make on that. Oh, we're starting another advance. No, it's never stopped. It's never stopped, but the French have been annoyingly, probably for the Russians, annoyingly good at falling back and keeping out of melee distance, out of melee range. Oh wow, Poland is going in against the Russians. He's actually going in for melee. Maybe Russia man for melee. I'm not sure which. Polish and Russians, you know, have had some bitter rivalries in the past, so I couldn't blame Poland for being on the French side. Russia was always looking for a piece of Poland through pretty much any war, I'd say. Starting to see Poland starting to take some losses here. Russia finally closing in. And France has another break. Now, of course, they have more troops going to get charged. I'm sure they're going to form square. Maybe not. Russia may have finally gotten their edge. And Russia is starting to finally break through the flank of France. Now, the majority of that French army over here. Now, I do see cavalry getting mixed up in the French infantry. But Russia's actually, you know, starting to cave against that Davout attack. France has made some huge gains, taking a portion of this high ground that the Russians just, you know, minutes ago controlled. The artillery battery has been silenced, and the French are actually being forced back. I think this other horse gun may finally be silenced. Russia's looking pretty good at the moment. Oh, a nice little clash here with cavalry, and it looks like infantry is also going to start closing in. Oh, so beautiful. Look at that. Russians do break. Over here, it does look like we have some Saxon cav. Prince Clemens charging against the Russian line. Does look like Russia's actually trying to counterattack a little bit, going after some light infantry. He does have a couple lines. He's pushing up a little reserve that he has. Man, the all-out attack by France, though, is starting to become very successful, especially in this left side. Oh, this is a mess. Poland and Russia going for the melee. Seems like both have taken some heavy losses in that fight.
Our men are running.
The rest of this, Russia trying to hold off Davout so that the rest of the Russians can actually maybe try to take out the Polish. It's like Poland's holding on for dear life at this point. Looks like Russia's counterattacking against Saxony and France, trying to catch on to that flank. Over here, Russia countercharging more French troops. And France has actually fallen back. So they actually are shifting reserves over towards this side. You can see this fight actually kind of still in the balance for Russia and France. The center line. This is an all-out attack by Russia. I think the last-ditch effort to try to break up this Polish army. And unfortunately, the Polish general is about to die. He's about to get sniped. There he is, fighting bravely, and he is struck down. But he went out like a hero on the battlefield. Now Saxony's going to have to try to hold this line. The rest of Poland is going to have to pull back. As the French are now, you know, it still doesn't look too bleak, guys. I mean, Poland took quite a chunk out of that Constantine. And Davout is very strong, very much alive. He's still pushing on this Russia. But there's 22 minutes remaining in this replay. So LOCs are going to become a consideration. Now, there is, you see, for the, let me make sure I got that right. Yeah. For the French, they have the 2-pointer here. Another 1-pointer here. They don't have that one. But they have these two plus this one over here. They have most of the LOCs on the field. Plus, like I said, they have the 2-pointer there. So they actually do, and since it's a tournament, this is very important to actually win by LOC or by deathmatch. Either way, they just got to hold for 22 more minutes, and they will win this battle. They will definitely win this battle. If the Russians push them too hard, though, and they start taking losses on the ground, now they do have the Grand Battery just set up, ready to drive back this Russian force. Plus, Davout is rolling in on the rear of this Russian line. And you can see Russia, I mean, they have some artillery now set up maybe to try to drive them back, but they do not have a lot to stand up against the French. So this is still looking pretty good for France. If you're a fan of France, you know, don't be dismayed. Don't be dismayed yet. If you're a fan of Russia, just wait and see, you know. Horse artillery's got quite a big job here for a total of like, what, 10 men? Maybe 12? It's like, you're supposed to hold back Davout's corps. You're like, what? Like, that's not fair. For 10 men. Oh, they're starting to get shot up. I don't think they're gonna... Ooh. I don't know if they're gonna get limber up in time. Yeah, they're gonna run. They'll come back. We have a cav charge from Constantine and his, I don't know if I touched Constantine's cav, but Constantine's the one who's been still pushing forward here. You can see the cavalry doing quite a good job forcing back this Saxony. Davout may actually be the saving grace here. He may actually push around, hit the back if the coalition gets stopped long enough. Davout's going to push in behind him and it's going to be over. Now, I do think we may lose an artillery. Saxony may lose their artillery piece. We'll see. I'm seeing a massive push, though, starting to really harass the back lines of Saxony. You see the Russians just right there. think Saxony's going to have quite the job cut out for them pretty soon here. I'm assuming what they're going to try to do is, I'm trying to think here. They can't run too far on this side because they have a line sitting here, and if they pull back this way, this line's going to be totally in danger of getting hit by the Russians in the rear. They have to hold it, and I think maybe they're going to try to make a stand here. Now, the problem is Friends routing is going to debuff your own troops. You can see here, all these Saxon troops are running. It's actually going to cause these guys, you can see concerned Friends routing. It's just going to cause mass routes. You can see the morale is so threadbare, thin. It's a tough place to be for Saxony. They're trying to probably stay away from their routing troops, and the routing troops keep running towards their own men. And Russia's just meleeing straight through it all. They're just starting to break this whole Saxon army. Plus, this sounds stay in the gardens. Look at this. Tiny unit left, and they're still standing strong. Uh-oh. Seeing a lot of breaking from Saxony. Oh, and Russian cav in the back lines. Oh, it's over.
Our men are running, sir.
And Saxon's general does die. That's unfortunate. Now, Davout is still pushing, guys. He's right behind him. He's trying to get in position as quickly as possible. But things aren't looking too good for the Imperials right now. So now may be a time to get concerned if you are a fan of the French Imperial Army. They still have LCs they can try to hold. There is 15 minutes remaining in this replay. I mean, Russia's doing exactly what they should do, not stopping, constantly pushing, constantly moving forward, trying to catch more and more of the French units as possible. And France is doing what they should, which is just falling back, getting away from that tidal wave of routing of allies.
Our men are running, sir. Taking the buildings, huh?
Oh man, what a defense. It's actually kind of funny, these routing troops are actually stopping this Russian infantry from actually getting into the building for a little bit. They're getting shot in the flank. So it actually, in some ways, has been helping. Now, Russia is on this side of the city. LOC taken. France going to try to hold as best they can around these LOCs. Ooh, the morale's looking pretty low. Once again, the whole France routing thing is just brutal. they lose LOC, unfortunately. Oh, my brave Frenchman.
Our men are running, sir.
Yeah, things are not looking good at all. There's like no French force left except for Debus, which is right over here. So I'm trying to figure out. I mean, they have the 2-pointer. They have this other LLC, this one here. So 1, 2, 3. They still have that one. 4, 5. They hold a majority. Still. I need the fast forward button just because I don't think there's a whole lot of fighting happening still. I guess there's still a little bit around this LOC. But just to, you know, catch up to... and it looks like they took... Yep, they took another one. So, yeah, they're taking all the LOCs, making sure the Russians know that they are not over. And it does look like France still holds this one. So... And timer's starting to run low, guys. I don't think the coalition... I don't know if they're going to take this in time. Now, they do have someone pushing over here to the 2-pointer. It's Cavaliers versus a Russian guard. Is this Russian guard? Or just Russian line? Now, I'll have to keep an eye on that one, because 2 points is actually pretty serious. Then over here, of course, you have even more artillery just shelling it. Killed a couple units. Oh, wow, they're trying to use canister to kill us so they can take it. Here we go, the final attack being made on this other LOC. But Debus pushing up, guys. This could actually break the Russian attack if they're not careful.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
Man, Russia's going in. Russia's going all in here, guys. Look at this counterattack. And they're also pushing by the LLC. I mean, time is starting to run very, very short. I think I missed this. I'm assuming, yeah, these guys won. They're still holding against that artillery piece. The French could win by LLC. I truly do believe that. They could definitely do it. Of course, they have to hold this LLC. We'll see how that goes. Then, of course, you have another LSC being held way back here. Russia going for it. More and more brave Frenchmen trying to make a stand against the Russians. As Russia's starting to cleave right into the back lines. They hold the LOC. Russia's pushing across over to this LOC over here. Man, it's coming down to the wire, guys. LOC is still held by the Imperial. I think the RC clan will take this one. This guy's like, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. There's no Russians behind me. I'm fine, I just stare at the window and let them watch my back. Oh, France is holding on barely to this LOC as well. Man. Now, I do believe we have a Russian line actually going to push up to try to take us. Maybe they're going to let their artillery speak for, you know, they're trying to shoot them apart first. These guys have taken some losses. Not a crazy, insane amount, actually. I'm not worried about that one. They're going to hold. They should hold just fine. Man, this house has been fought over for quite some time, and it doesn't like the fighting's dying down at all. More and more Russians going for this LOC. How are these
Our
guys?
men are running.
38 grenadiers left. Wow, look at the slaughter here. These grenadiers are chopping them up, guys. Look at that. Man. I watched a lot of grenadiers just drop a lot of Russians. Or no, a very few grenadiers drop a lot of Russians. That's impressive. Somehow the French are just holding.
Our men are running, sir.
Uh-oh. Oh no, they finally lost. There's still some units, though. There's still some units, guys. It's not over. Kivu still has some forces over here as well. And I think this house is being assaulted now by the Russians.
We have taken a building, sir.
Oh, what? They took it back? Man. Alright, so I think they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points versus the 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Yeah, 1, 2, so that's 3, 4, yeah. 4 points versus 6 points right now. Oh, by 5 points, sorry. At this point, I think I'm just gonna fast forward here. I don't think a lot's happening. However, they could easily. I think Davu could retake this quite easily if they can, you know,
We
get
have
some men in
killed their
there.
general, sir.
Ooh,
Now they
kill a
must
general
break.
too. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna come down to like seconds, guys. Oh my goodness, can they do this? If they take this LLC, they definitely. I mean, they've won already. This will be a very decisive win. And oh, they still won. They won by 1 point instead of, you know, more than that. But man, a lot of kills. A lot of kills. Let me pull up the results here real fast so we can take a look at them. All right. So here we go. So on the coalition side, or yeah, let's start with the Imperial side actually. You have Bring Back Militia playing as Saxony, got 684 for the kills. Brought 2,200 men. You have TT Ross playing as the Victor, I believe. Even though I was like, man, that's not the right flag. But Victor, you got 1023 for the kills. Lotus was playing as Poland, 799. And then Al as Davu with 1537. On the other side, Casual, he was playing as Bagavu, the 8-pointer, 1225 for the kills. Pius playing as Konstantin, the guard, 1681 for the kills. Dollar Sign playing as Tormasov, 8-pointer, 941. And then Arjun's playing as Bagration, 12-pointer, got 1712 for the kills. So a very, very close battle. Very well played. It came down to the LLCs at the very end, and the RC took that. So the Imperials took the victory. But yeah, it was, man, that was a very good battle. So anyway, guys, that'll be it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and as always, I'll catch you all in another video.